The Solitary Witch's Green Book. Basic witch spells and journaling for your everyday magic practice. Beatrix, Minerva, Linden. Narrated by Nikki Delgado. Chapter 1. Let's do some magic. Day 1. A magic journal. During this first week, we will reflect on your magical path and what you expect to achieve by practicing witchcraft. Start on a Monday, or even better, read each day's assignment on the evening of the day before. I will give you 5 tasks, 1 for each weekday, and then you will have the whole weekend to catch up with what you didn't finish during the previous days. Don't worry, it may sound like a lot of work, but it's not. The only thing you will need for now is a notebook and a pen. You can call this notebook a journal or a book of shadows, if you prefer. A book of shadows is a witch's journal where she or he compiles her experiences, her beliefs, and her spells. It is like a unique personal encyclopedia of magic. Books of shadows are called so because in the past they had to remain hidden, thus in the shadows, to prevent them from being discovered by nosy neighbours and visitors. Being exposed might have been dangerous or even fatal for many witches. I prefer to call my book of shadows a journal, as I am lucky and I don't need to hide it anymore. I also use it daily to reflect on magic, my life's happenings, and the divination methods I like to use, like you would use a journal. Your task for today is to get hold of a notebook. It can be as humble or as baroque as you decide. Decorate the cover if you want to. On the first page, write today's date and the following information. This journal or book of shadows belongs to. Write your name, your date and place of birth, and any other personal data you wish to add. If you have a craft name or revere a certain deity, saint, or entity, you can mention them too. Try to create an introduction to your journal by answering the following questions. What is a witch, in your own words? What is magic? If you have ever tried to practice magic or do a spell in the past, write about your experience and its outcome. When was that? What was the purpose of the spell? Where did you find the spell? And do you think it worked? Note: from now on, try to leave at least half a blank page at the end of each entry, because you might like to add new information and ideas as you progress. If you don't know the answers, you can just write what your gut feeling suggests you, or leave a blank space for later. Day 2. Could you be a witch? Have you ever met a real witch? What's that anyway? Maybe you have, but you haven't even noticed. Many people need a while to come to terms with the word witch itself. Ugly, evil witches cliches are deeply ingrained in our collective minds, fed by centuries of misinformation and defamatory folk tales. You might go through a hard time accepting the name witch as your own, and it's understandable. For me, all this changed when I met Claire back in my 20s. I was still a student and had a part-time job in a coffee shop. That's where I met my best friend at the time, Claire. She was the opposite from me, blonde, bold and outgoing. One of the 3 waitresses in our coffee shop, she was the only one who seemed satisfied with her life and completely uninterested in gossiping and backstabbing the rest of her co-workers. She had an almost visible aura and exuded positive energy wherever she went. She was kind to everyone, but she let no one intimidate her. We both loved nature, ecology, and were fascinated by the feminine side of things. It's not strange that we became friends. Her peaceful but decided ways fascinated me, and one day I gathered the courage to ask her why she was so different. She looked at me in surprise and said, "I'm a witch, if that's what you mean. I thought you knew." And she showed me her pentacle pendant like it was the most obvious thing in the world. To be honest, back then I thought it was just a cute silver star. Claire became my friend and my mentor, and the first proud witch I ever met. So, are you a witch? What about you? If you're reading this book, you might wonder whether you might be a witch too. The good news is, there is only one condition to becoming a witch. You have to want to. That's it. No tests to pass, no one to prove your witchiness to, just lots of learning on your horizon. Sadly, many witches nowadays are still afraid to present themselves openly.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?